Saving $32 on an oil change sounds like a smart decision. That is what Walmart offers compared to a dealership visit, and for a lot of drivers, it has been a reliable way to cut the cost of routine maintenance for years. But in 2026, two separate problems arrived at the same time that make that $32 savings one of the most complicated calculations in automotive maintenance. The company that manufactures the oil Walmart puts in your engine just lost its product supply from both Shell and Mobil. And the service record at Walmart Auto Care Centers holds a 1.4 out of 5-star rating on the most widely used consumer review platform in the United States. Those two problems did not arrive together by coincidence. They have been building on separate tracks for years. 2026 is just the first year they are both active at the same time. Here is the direct answer up front. Walmart oil changes were already a questionable trade before this supply crisis began. The quality record existed in court documents and consumer complaints long before motor oil prices started climbing. What the 2026 supply crisis has done is make the price advantage that made Walmart attractive smaller at the exact moment the quality question became harder to ignore. The $32 you are saving today may be $20 or $15 by the end of this year. And the risk on the other side of that trade has not gone anywhere. Most people using Walmart for oil changes are doing it to save money. That is a completely rational reason. The math only holds up if the service is actually performed correctly. In 2023, a court ruled that Walmart owed a customer $10,000 for engine damage caused by a Walmart Auto Care Center oil change. That is not a complaint on a review website. That is a legal decision with a dollar amount attached to it. The driver who saved $32 on that oil change ended up with an engine claim worth $10,000. And when a company's service centers hold a 1.4 out of 5-star rating across hundreds of documented customer reviews, the incidents that generated that rating happened to real drivers with real cars, making the same decision you are thinking about right now. Here is something that almost nobody outside the lubricant industry knows. The company that manufactures Walmart's SuperTech motor oil is called Highline Warren. Highline Warren is a contract manufacturer, a company that produces finished oil products under other retailers' labels. They supply SuperTech for Walmart. They also supply Kirkland Signature motor oil for Costco. Two of the most widely purchased budget motor oil brands in America come from the same single manufacturer. In the spring of 2026, both Mobil and Shell formally notified Walmart and Costco that neither company would have packaged motor oil product available to send them. The reason is the 2026 Group 3 base oil shortage caused by the Strait of Hormuz closure following the Iran war, and the severe damage to Shell's Pearl GTL complex in Qatar, which is the world's largest gas-to-liquids production facility. 44% of the United States supply of Group 3 base oil, the specific category used in modern full synthetic motor oil, comes from the Middle East. That supply is currently blocked. Wholesale prices for Group 3 base oil rose above $10 per gallon, a record high. Retail prices on standard 5-quart jugs of synthetic oil rose between 15 and 30% above their 2025 baseline. Some product categories rose faster. One major lubricant distributor implemented a 25% price increase across its entire product line in April of 2026 alone. Full synthetic oil at the wholesale level rose approximately $7 per gallon above where it stood in early March. The disruption is not contained to the wholesale level. Toyota and Nissan dealership service departments are already operating with roughly 45% fewer barrels of oil than they received in the same period last year, because dealer allocation cuts have already begun. The Independent Lubricant Manufacturers Association has stated the market is not expected to normalize until at least mid-2027. A leaked internal memo from AutoZone, circulated widely across automotive media in May 2026, described the situation as the largest supply shortage of lubricating fluids in the modern history of America, warned that availability could shrink by as much as 40%, and stated that cost increases would arrive, quote, often dramatically. Walmart is facing bare shelves in its motor oil section at the exact moment questions about what oil Walmart actually uses in its service centers are more prominent than ever. Because Walmart's own website does not disclose whether the motor oil used in its auto care center service bays is new oil, re-refined oil, or any other category. That information has never appeared on their website. In 2026, with the supply chain under active pressure and Highline Warren constrained by the same shortage hitting every other manufacturer, the absence of any disclosure about oil sourcing moves from a transparency concern to a practical question about what is going into your engine right now. To understand how serious the documented quality problems actually are, it helps to go past the rating number and read what generated it. In one documented case, a Texas customer's engine was overfilled to nearly double the specified oil capacity during a Walmart oil change. The customer returned to have it corrected. During that correction visit, Walmart technicians drained the transmission fluid instead of the engine oil. That is 2 separate errors on the same vehicle during 2 service visits at the same location. The first error caused internal engine pressure damage. The second error caused serious drivetrain damage. Both were fundamental technical failures that a trained and certified technician should not be capable of making. In May of 2026, a customer's Toyota Highlander developed a severe oil leak and triggered a low oil pressure warning light within a short time of leaving a Walmart service bay. An independent mechanic subsequently declared the vehicle unsafe to drive. In a separate documented case, a customer discovered that Walmart had charged them for an oil filter replacement on 3 consecutive visits without actually replacing the filter once. Not once across 3 paid services. In another case, technicians used a blue thread lock adhesive to seal a stripped oil drain plug without informing the customer. The customer drove away with no knowledge that the drain plug was stripped and masked with adhesive, a condition that would likely cause total oil loss on the next service drain. These incidents are not outliers from disgruntled customers. They are the documented pattern behind a 1.4 out of 5-star rating from a platform that aggregates verified consumer experiences. The pattern suggests something systemic rather than a string of bad luck. The technician qualification picture is consistent with that pattern. Walmart does not require prior automotive certification or experience to hire technicians at its auto care centers. Training is provided after hiring, but the standard credential in independent shops and dealerships is Automotive Service Excellence Certification, a nationally recognized qualification that requires passing technical competency examinations covering the specific procedures an oil change involves. Walmart operates 2,500 plus service locations without requiring that credential from the people working on customer engines. Then there is the recycled oil allegation. A woman identifying herself as a former Walmart Auto Care Center employee posted a video that circulated widely in 2026. She claimed directly on camera that the used oil collected from customer vehicles is filtered and then poured into other customers' cars. Her exact statement was, "Any oil that I take out of people's cars, that is what you are getting at Walmart." She further claimed that oil handled this way has an effective service life of approximately 1,500 miles, compared to 7,500 miles for new conventional oil. If that were accurate, a customer paying for an oil change could leave Walmart with oil that is already 5/6 depleted in service life before they reach the highway. This allegation was not independently verified. There is an important distinction between fully re-refined motor oil, which is a legitimate, regulated product that meets the same industry certification standards as virgin base oil, and what this former employee described, which would be filtering and directly reusing collected used oil without a full re-refining process. True re-refined oil is legal and certified. The practice described would not be. Motor One, which covered the story, asked Walmart for a response. Walmart declined to comment. They stated they had no dedicated media department and required a specific store location before addressing any allegations. No denial was issued, and the Walmart website still does not tell you what kind of oil goes into your engine when you pull into one of their service bays. A company operating 2,500 plus automotive service locations, handling tens of millions of oil change customers per year, declined to deny that it might be reusing collected customer oil. And independently of that allegation, it has never disclosed its oil sourcing on its own website. That combination is not a neutral data point. Here is how to think about the Walmart oil change decision in 2026. Decision is the word to keep in mind. If your vehicle is still under the manufacturer's warranty, do not use Walmart for oil changes. Warranty claims require documentation, showing the correct oil specification was used at the correct interval by a qualified service provider. A Walmart service record that carries the quality history described above creates warranty exposure that a documented service at a certified shop does not carry. If you drive a modern turbocharged engine, the technician error risk is not compatible with the cost savings on offer. Turbocharged engines are precisely the category where a loose drain plug, a wrong viscosity, or an incomplete fill causes the most expensive damage in the shortest time. The turbocharger bearing that runs on an oil film thinner than a human hair does not survive a service error the way an older, naturally aspirated engine might. If your motivation is purely cost savings on an older, naturally aspirated engine out of warranty, the math has shifted. With oil prices up 15 to 30% across the board and rising further, the gap between Walmart and a competent independent shop is smaller than it was a year ago. In some markets and some viscosity grades, it may be negligible by the time prices finish their current climb. The most practical option for a cost-conscious driver right now is an independent shop with automotive service excellence certified technicians, or a do-it-yourself oil change with oil purchased before the next round of price increases arrives. An independent shop charges more than Walmart and less than a dealership, performs the work with documented credentials, and does not have a court-ordered engine damage ruling in its legal history. Independent is often the safer balance of cost and quality. The $32 that made Walmart oil changes feel like the smart choice was always borrowed against a risk most drivers did not know existed. The service quality record was in the consumer complaints. The transparency gap was on their own website. The hiring model without certification requirements was visible in their job listings. None of that was hidden, it just was not widely talked about. In 2026, the supply crisis did not create those problems. It arrived alongside them at the moment the price gap started shrinking and the quality questions got harder to set aside. A 1.4 out of 5-star rating, a court-ordered $10,000 engine payment, a transmission drained by mistake, 3 consecutive charges for a filter that was never changed, a website that still will not tell you what kind of oil goes in your engine, and now a supply chain that has left Walmart's own oil manufacturer without product from its 2 primary suppliers. The question was whether Walmart oil changes are still safe for your engine in 2026. The service record was already answering that question before this year started. The crisis just made it louder.